talk about this. Orioles, they survive. They win the final game of the series. Don't get swept. And you guys know my motto, win series or avoid getting swept. If you do that enough, you're going to win a lot of baseball games. But we'll start with the obvious of it. Not a great series overall. The Brewers, I'll give the Brewers a round of applause because they are scrappy as hell.
Listen, 91 team. They were like a sneaky good team last year that nobody was really talking about. And they're just picking up where they left off last year.
Best offense in baseball right now.
Yep.
Averaging over 6 runs a game. And you just saw it. That was probably the most annoying series yet this year. Not just from the fact of obviously got blown out for 2 games, but every single at bat, the Brewers make you earn every single out.
Yep.
They get infield hits. They're going to hit bloopers. They're going to run the bases well, create runs. We saw Perkins, Rip's guy, stealing home when Adley throws through second. They're just going to find ways to get an advantage when you don't necessarily see it. So you have to hand it to the Brewers. That is a very good team right there. And I would assume they're going to be the favorites once again to probably win it all in the NL Central.
I was shocked a little bit, I didn't know what to expect for them coming out of the Corbin Burnes trade, just meaning when you lose that magnitude of player, right? Because you're losing an ace, you're losing the foundation of your staff. It's not because they didn't have other good pieces in place, but you just look at that. But you're right. Their MO is they're going to battle, they're going to grind, they're going to wreak havoc. And you saw the Orioles speed up and make some defensive mistakes throughout the series. And then also the Brewers are going to run. The Brewers are not afraid about running, stealing bases. And you saw the jumps that they got on Corbin Burnes. And Burnes, if he gets guys out, people aren't going to worry as much about how well he holds runners on. But the Brewers know him better than anyone, and they were trying to take advantage of it. And Blake Perkins, for those that don't know, had a great series for the Brewers because Christian Yelich is having some injury issues. I believe it is his back.
Yeah.
So Perkins enters into the lineup. He was actually a roommate of mine and a teammate when we started with the Nationals in the minor leagues. And so I love seeing Perk doing his thing. And by the way, guys, he's never been a left-handed hitter until he got to pro ball. They made him be a switch hitter. And then he's just a left-handed hitter. Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
But Perk, as you can see, is very aggressive on the base pass. He has great anticipation. And on that throw down from Adley, I think there was some miscommunication there a little bit because I don't know if that was specifically supposed to happen. But nonetheless, if Adley comes up throwing, you got to be ready to go from third. And Blake made it so Jackson could not. And I love the fact, by the way, Jackson did not try to force the issue on the throw. Get the out, the run scores, you move on. But you know what I did love? This is my favorite part of the day. Corbin Burnes fields a ball. It's a bunt, throws it away. Second and third, no outs. Tie game, right?
Yep.
Could have gone a lot of different ways. And Corbin Burnes retired the next 3 batters consecutively. And they get out of it. And that's something, when you look at this in life, when shit hits the fan, how do you respond and how do you move on to the next pitch and not let your emotions, because if Corbin Burnes lets his emotions get in the way, the game's over right there. The Brewers go ahead. I don't know if the Orioles come back from that. Burnes keeps him in the game. The game keeps flowing.
Yep.
And it was great. And Kevin, that's what you brought up. Like, this is something this was Burnes is by far his worst start in my opinion. Just from the defensive woes, but also he had trouble putting guys away. No 1, 2, 3 innings, but the guy still was able to give you a chance, and that's what you want.
Yeah, and I think also a lot of pitchers, when they have those types of moments, when they face some level of adversity, that can snowball for a lot of guys. But for Burnes, he settled in, he locked in. And again, as I said earlier, he kept the Orioles in this game. And we know the O's are the comeback kids. Once that 6th, 7th inning, 8th rolls around, their bats start to get hot. And obviously late in this game, if the game was out of reach, who knows how it would have gone. So to me, there's so many impressive things about Corbin Burnes, and there's so many reasons why you call him an ace. But those are some of the underrated parts about it, where we've seen Orioles pitchers do it. We've seen other pitchers throughout baseball do it, where one thing goes wrong and then everything else starts to go wrong. And that's why I was so impressed with the way Burnes handled himself today.
Yeah. But again, and that's just when you look around and with a team that's still really young, I mean, they were talking about Gunnar Henderson's 22, Jackson's obviously 20, and some of the other pitchers, Grayson Rodriguez, 24, I believe.
Adley's the old man at 26.
Yeah. I mean, actually the old man of the group is Cedric Mullins.
That's true. Yeah.
And Seti, and how about Cedric Mullins? You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Seti, Ryan O'Hearn. There's reasons why, guys, that they're on this team. And I'm not going to keep speaking to the Cedric Mullins. If you guys think Cedric Mullins does not have a place on any major league team and shouldn't be the Orioles everyday center fielder, I'm not even going to bother wasting the time and energy with it because he's just that special. I understand the Orioles have a lot of talent, but Cedric, when he's hot, a healthy Ced is a scary Ced. I put it out there. Now let's actually get to what was the game-changing inning on Sunday. Jackson Holliday gets his first hit. First off, Jordan Westburg again.
To go say, got to give the man love. Jordan Westburg, there's a reason. We've said it since before spring training. There is a reason Jordan Westburg needs to be in the lineup every single day because it doesn't matter when it is. When his number is called, he is going to produce. Starts off the rally today, and then as you're getting into, Ryan, rest goes from there. Yeah,
and you know what? When things go wrong for players, it just gets magnified. Jackson Holliday had some really rough calls. The strike zone was a little bit wide today, but when you're a rookie and you're struggling, they're not going to give you that call either. But you just take a deep breath, you keep grinding, And his third at bat today, finally, base hit through the hole. Camden Yards erupts. But the bigger thing in the game, first to third, puts the tying run on third. Gunnar Henderson then gets a hit the next time. And Brad, actually, do you have the clip that you wanted to pull up, or what do you think?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, let's pull up the clip real quickly.
And Holliday through the right side. There it is. The first of many. Jackson Holliday with his first major league hit. And it comes in a major moment.
There's the smiles.
Great
it was
form
just
high
a
five
matter
there.
of time, folks. And the kid can breathe a little bit now.
Yeah, so obviously you could see Matt Holliday was able to stick around for another day with your pops over there. That was actually a cool moment. I was glad when we last talked to Matt, it was the plan was for him to
come back
back home, and so it was cool that he was able to stick around for an extra day. And kudos to giving up those seats, my man.
Yeah, well, the thing is, in general, it's a special moment. I think that's the biggest thing here. This is a guy that, with all the expectations, some people have had mixed feelings about his start. Some people were like, "Hey, I'm behind you." Other people were like, "What the hell is this? You're striking out a ton." And meanwhile, when you see it, and those guys, Matt knows, my dad knows, and me being around it, it's so damn hard. And when people are just waiting for you to do more, and people were giving him standing O's, like, it's great that people were giving him all the attention, right? Like the support, but also you're like, damn, if I get out here again, it's just the buildup, and the buildup's finally over with. And the Orioles, more importantly, win the game because then Gunnar Henderson, and that, Brad, it's a good point. Pete Rose went 0 for 12 in his major league debut. Now his perspective thanks to Jeff Arnold.
Yeah, Jeff Arnold actually ended up said something about this in the radio broadcast today. Jeff ended up responding to that. He said he actually ended up pulling up those notes yesterday. So, look, he had to adjust just like all the other rookies that have come up. Gunnar kind of had a slow start last year. Adley, wasn't just lighting the world on fire either. And that's just part of it. There were some other crazy stats as well that I saw from other great baseball players that had a slow start that went over for a while before things started to click. So even if Jackson Holliday doesn't go bananas after this first hit, I don't think anybody should be, there's no alarm bells that need to go off. He's going to be great. He's going to be fine. He's going to be an integral part of the team. It just takes some time to make those adjustments because it is a way different ball game, should I say, in the bigs than it is from AAA.
Yeah, well, and here the other context too. It's Kyle. Newsflash: baseball's hard.
Yeah,
it's the hardest sport in the sense of, and again, I'm going to be biased. I think hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do because the pitcher always controls what happens. But secondly, it's the only sport where you consistently have to fail so much, and then you can still be really good at it. That's something that really messes with you. Now, combining with the fact that you're on the biggest stage. We're in a day and age now where everything is documented. When Zach forgets his credit card at the bar, it's documented.
And then we found it in the back pants pocket hours later. It was the biggest comeback story of the weekend. I know.
Kevin, see what happens. See, this is what we deal with.
I would say, speaking of, I don't know what's the leaderboard on the Masters? Do you know yet?
So I think Scotty Scheffler just took the lead again.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
golf is probably the hardest, but I think maybe baseball and golf is like 1 and 1A.
Well, this is the thing with golf. That's the thing, because the elements you can't control sometimes, but also it's your own mind.
So much of a head game, right?
Yeah. But the head game part of it, at least.
Baseball though too.
Yeah, it's a head game, but also if a pitcher is doing everything possible, I don't care how good I am, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like that's the reality. That's the part I'm trying to say with golf is if you're on and you're on it and you're on, nothing can stop you. Hitters can get hot, but they don't stay hot for an entire year.
Yeah.
Like that's my point. Like the best hitters in the world hit what? Acuna hit like 330 last year. What was it?
Yeah.
So when Ryan leaves the studio key card at home, it's documented.
Yeah.
It is very documented, Sean.
Yeah.
It's a great point. Kevin, don't you laugh.
Well, everybody else can laugh, but I can't laugh.
Nope.
No, it's okay, Kevin. You're a good kid.
I mean, like you said, if Jackson Holliday has a long career and he gets out 7 out of every 10 times he goes up to the plate, he's going to the Hall of Fame. So that just is a testament to how much of a mental game, like you said, and how hard it is to play baseball. You literally, if you are a good player, you are failing 7 out of 10 times that you go to the plate to do what you are considered to be one of the best in the world at doing. And that's why it's such a game where you have to be humble. I think it said, baseball has 2 people, humble people and people who are about to be humbled. So
yeah, and then it's a true thing. Once you think you have it figured out in baseball, guess what? Whammy, you're getting hit right in the face with reality that you are not as good as you think. And that's why, well, Spirit Bomb, you are right. That baseball seems pretty easy for Cowser. But again, when you're hot and you have these streaks, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like what Cowser's doing is unbelievable, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But to give context for Cowser last year, and he wasn't playing every day, right? He had 31 at-bats last year. Or sorry, he had 61 at-bats last year and had 7 hits.
Mhm.
He hit 115
Yeah.
in those. And again, I told you guys about it. I thought that it was hard for him to come off the bench. It's a hard role to be in. But the context, there's a lot of things that go into it. And when you're hot, you got to stay hot. I love that he's in the lineup. But back to that 1 inning, I really want to emphasize the other part of Jackson's game, and his base running. When Gunnar gets the base hit and ties the game, he wasn't going base to base. Jackson immediately tried to take third base, barely makes it in safe, but this is why it's so important. What happens next? Adley Rutschman hits a ball up the middle. Yes, it's a double play, but the run scores. If that's first and second, runners on third, the Orioles might not get any run there, and that doesn't give them the lead. Like, it's the little things in the game that matter, and this is something that Jackson can bring to the team besides the ability he has with the bat.